Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. Let's go through 3 basic stages of training. Not really stages, they're more parts of a training session. The first part is working with the mental body. The second part is working with the astral or the chi body, and the third is working with the fascia and developing kinetic loading in your body for Tai Chi. Now, the mental body component is the mind's relationship to the body. Everything is going into the physical. So a simple exercise, we want to define what sung is. What is this relaxation? If I take my forearms, intense them, and then I unlock the tension, we have perceived quality of relaxation. That's not sung. That's letting go of muscle tension. It's unlocking a muscle and letting go. Now, if I tense up, then I let the muscle go, and I put my mind there and soften the muscle down, hang the muscle, and get a mental release that my mind is releasing how I feel, my mind is releasing the body, and the mind is paying attention to static within the nature of my own mind and softening everything down. That is sung. So that's your entry level to sung. That's the start of sung. So it's a mental quality. The difference is that I can unlock my own muscles, but I can't unlock his with normal relaxation or the perception of relaxation. But if I practice taking my mind into my body and going deeper, I can release his body just as much as I can release my own, because it's a mental, energetic quality. It's an internal quality, not a physical, superficial layer of relaxation. So this is the difference between relaxation and sung. Sung is a deep level of mind, deep relaxation, deep transformation. It's transforming energy between states. Depending on your mind's relationship to time and space is where it transforms energy to. But for the moment, we just want to relax deeply enough to hang the muscles, open the joints, and just let everything soften and sink down to the ground to create this downward connection to gravity, and let gravity hang the muscles, let all the static in the body let go, let tension let go, and release. So this is the mental training component. So with my training partner, what I want to do is just feel his tension in his body. By pulling, I create a bit of tension there to get a radar link in, and then I just go in and release his body. I put my mind, sung, inside him to release. Then I want to scan through his body, touching all the different body parts, and releasing what I feel. So he works on a computer a lot, so he's got these tension points there. So what I would want to do is get him to sit at a desk on his work table and then start releasing those lines, and then that would be functional sung for him to work on a computer. For Tai Chi, he's going to take a posture like ward off, and then I'm going to scan through, and over here he's got this little bit of a line there. I'm just going to relax and soften that line down for him. And I want to scan through every one of his postures when he does the form and put sung inside of him as a mental training exercise. So this is 1/3 of your training. Releasing your partner's body, your partner releasing your body. Understand how to go inside to his unconscious mind and influence muscle tension. This is the fabric base of Tai Chi. You need to get this really well in order to send your jin to hit the right place. So by you relaxing into your partner, releasing him, you have the basics of how jin will move and generate rebounding forces and developing listening energy, translating energy, and so forth. All the intrinsic energies come from this mental training. But it's physical, but it's your mind which is doing it. Touching the tension and just relaxing that, putting sung inside him. When you do your Tai Chi form, you create a field of sung, a toroidal field. You might have a radius of about 6 meters around you, and you just let the sung circulate and relax and release your body while you're doing the form. If you're paying attention to the mental quality of release, that's 1/3 mental training. Now, if you're paying attention to the physical body of tuning the fascia to life force, syncing the chi, we're using that conductive part of the mind that moves waves of relaxation to relax and release tension, to move chi or to move life force, then that's the next step, because it's much easier to move internal energy with sung than it is to move with tension. Now, you'll see a lot of internal systems not cultivate Sung, but they have a lot of power. But it's a highly vulnerable power. So when you touch these people, you can feel their power, you can feel their tension, and it's highly reactive to Tai Chi. So Tai Chi is very effective at bouncing those types of people who have lots of power, because the power is exposed. What the benefit of what Tai Chi gives is it releases that tension out of the body to get rid of vulnerability. So if someone goes to wrestle with you, there's nothing there to wrestle with. They disappear essentially because the energy is moving. It's so soft. They're more like a ghost. So this ghost feeling in the touch is what Tai Chi people strive towards. Sung is what generates it. It's also an amazing conductor of mind, energy, Jin, power through that softness. But you don't have to be soft to get power. That's a misnomer. Okay, so that's the first third of your training. The second third of your training is going to be working with kinetic loading. So we do the first part where my partner does this part here, and he gives me a tension line. And I touch him so that he can sort of lock down onto my base, and I can lock down onto his base. So we have a root-to-root connection. Now, I'll start off with just a mental Sung and just relax that wave of energy out. And then he gives me a bit more to relax. And then I put it onto the base and go under his base and then start pulsing that out. Now, every time I do that, there's going to be a reaction inside my stretch and I'm going to feel tension. The objective here is to Sung my own reaction, to release it so that I remain a ghost. I've got to stay completely empty. And he gauges that and he gives me more and more force and he keeps me on the threshold of tension. And I've got to keep that tension in to stretch my fascia, tune the fascia to the feeling of life force, so there's a kinetic load inside the life force, but my mind is in a continuous state of Sung. That's what makes Tai Chi unique and special. It's that Sung quality. And I haven't seen any other Kung Fu system, internal system that has it. Chen style doesn't have it. It seems only to be Yang. It's a quality of the Yang style. They use the same words to describe what they're doing, but what they're doing is different. The Yang system and to a degree the Wu system put an incredible amount of attention on emptiness, emptying the body, getting rid of the tension. The only thing that does that is Sung. Now, if you watch a Wu practitioner moving, he's not Sung. His mind is an awareness of energy, and he's moving energy. The mind's moving Chi, and Chi's moving body. But you can clearly see his body is not empty and released. You can look at it and go, there's tension. But he's got a huge amount of power. So the Tai Chi model that you choose to do, you have to categorize or classify how important is Sung for you. Now, the deeper the Sung, the better the health. And the only reason I continue to train Tai Chi is because it's good for my arthritis. It's really good for my health. It alleviates at least 50% of the inflammation, makes me feel really, really good. And when I do the form, my body doesn't, I don't have any muscle tics, I don't have any pain. So it's amazing for health. It also removes vulnerability when people touch you. When a wrestler touches you, they can't find you. But if you're holding any form of structural power and tension in your body that's actually visible in how the person moves, you can see, I can feel the person, I can lock onto them. They still may bounce me and have better skills and more energy than me, but you can get a gauge in your mind of how pure the Tai Chi principle is running within that person. If you can feel them, they're not there yet. They should be a ghost. You touch them and they just disappear. And you can't teach a person Tai Chi if you're a ghost. So when you're teaching, you have to give a person tension, you have to give them pressure, they have to empty the pressure and so forth. So if a person's exhibiting tension, they may be able to empty themselves or not. They don't necessarily show you that they can be empty. So it's a quality that you'll very, very quickly figure out when you define the difference between contracting a muscle, letting go of the contraction, and deep mental relaxation inside your body, which produces Sung. Then you touch someone, you put deep mental relaxation inside them, which releases them, and then you do these drills. Now, the third area is the cultivation of Chi. So we looked at mental quality of Sung, how to put it in under load. So we transfer it onto the fascia, stretch the fascia, start creating elastic load. I've got dozens of videos on rebounding force that you can look at to go into that. And then the cultivation of Qi. When you've done the building the ball Qi Kung exercise, you get an electromagnetic feeling of life force, this vital feeling. That's not Qi, that's vital energy. When you take that feeling, you slow it down, that release of time thickens the energy and makes it slow, deep, and a heavy type of thick fluid. It's like you're in a swimming pool trying to move. And that's the Qi, that's the astral level in Hermetics. And cultivating your form, cultivating all your exercises while paying attention to that energy builds a personality, an intrinsic energy that expresses itself based on how your partner puts energy into that, how you support it mechanically. And then 1/3 of your training should be done on cultivating Qi. So we have 1/3 Sung. You're basically releasing each other's body, finding connection points of tension, release, release, release. When you learn the push hands the first time, you're doing the push hands to release your partner's body, not to bounce them, not to compete with them, but to release their body. When you're doing the Fa Jin exercises, you do the push hands exercises with an intrinsic energy to bounce them. It changes objective. And then when you're deepening the astral energy, you have a rate of transformation when you're working with Qi that needs to be honored to cultivate and build Qi. So we have these three categories of training. If you have 3 hours to spend, you put 1 hour on Sung, emptying your body, emptying your training partner's body, whether it's in the context of push hands or in the context of a therapy, or you sit them on a chair and you touch their shoulders and empty them as a healing type exercise. Doesn't actually matter. But if you frame the relaxation exercises around their applications, they will have more relaxation through the power line and more conductivity and more power accessible to them if you define the line and you empty those lines for your partner. So if I've got tension in my neck, I'll ask my partner to put some Sung into my neck and release it for me, because he can be conscious in my unconscious mind. He can go in there, release, and I get relief. For me to be conscious in my unconscious mind takes a much deeper level of concentration and skill. So this is why you touch your partner, you find tension, and then you empty them out. So when you do the 7-point body push the first time, I'm touching his foot and emptying his power lines. And then he just moves through that Sung that I'm putting inside him, and he enjoys the relaxed rotational motion. Once you've got to a point where you're good at that, then you touch your partner's base and you uproot them through each of the 7-point body pushes. And then as you uproot them, they recover. So they're generating immunity to being uprooted by letting someone catch them, and then they recover from being caught. So this deepens the Jin. It puts the Jin deep in the body. The intrinsic energy goes into a type of auto response, so their body starts to disappear when someone tries to catch them. And this is how we get that ghost touch in the body. It's generated by Sung permeating through the Qi, permeating through the facial web. And this development process is what makes Tai Chi great. Remember to split your training into 3 parts: the mental, the Qi, and the vital. So start with mental, jump back to the vital, train the fascia, and then as you're training that, release time and then cultivate the astral feeling. Do the 4-cycle breath, tuning breath exercises to know what the astral energy is, what Qi is, what it means to sync the Qi, and then work from the top to the bottom to the middle. And 1 hour of each if you're doing a 3-hour session. If you've only got 1 hour, 20 minutes of each. And this is the fastest way to develop. The prerequisite exercises. Well, the Sung exercises I just showed you. Vital breathing for feeling what vital energy is. When you put Sung through vital energy, it amplifies waves of vital energy. The 4-cycle breath. When you do the 4-cycle breath, the energy sinks. You get sinking of the Qi, and you end up in your astral body. So you get these qualities right, and you can train the mind-Qi-body relationship in a very balanced, harmonious way. If you do just the releasing, it's a very, very, very slow process. If you just did the mental quality of releasing the body, it takes many, many years, and most people will never get there. But if you do all 3 layers simultaneously, they're all synchronized, and you get Tai Chi very fast. The intrinsic energies build very fast. The intuition awakens really quickly. The feeling of the internal environment wakes up very, very, very quickly. You become sensitive to your environment, become sensitive to people's thinking, feeling, intention, because that's what you're doing every time you touch your partner. You're being sensitive to those qualities. The last thing I want to mention is the mind has to be bigger than the space it's affecting. So if I touch tension in his body, if my mind contracts to the space of his tension and I try and release it, energy is stuck within the space of itself. So I can't release it very efficiently. But if I occupy a larger space in his tension with my mind and I start putting sung in to release it, it has space to spread across, to get the tension to move out of the muscles and the locking points and spread. And then you can let your mind become larger than his body, and then the energy moves out. When your mind occupies more space than his physical form, that's when people start to lose balance. So always get used to touching the tension, expanding the awareness and the sung out, and then people are going to lose balance because their mental and astral matrices are affected, what combines and links the three bodies. They won't be affected very efficiently if your mind is stuck to them. Your mind has to be larger than the space of what you want to influence to release them. As soon as you get a good result, you touch your partner, you start relaxing through them, they lose balance, then have your journal open, your notepad open right next to you, and write down exactly what you did for that phenomena to happen. And then repeat it. And then make adjustments. Contemplate your method, refine your method, get a better result. Writing things down tells your subconscious mind, this is important. I would like to have more of this experience, more of this insight, more of this energy. And your subconscious mind goes, yeah, I'm getting millions, if not billions of bits of data flowing through all the time. And I'm not putting it into your consciousness because you basically don't need it. But if you want more of this, because you wrote it down, you'll start bringing your conscious mind into unconscious resonance with that type of data. And it'll start to come to the surface. We pull it from our deep energy field to the surface of our mind so we can understand it, utilize it, train it, and get better at it. Journal everything you do. You need to have a high quality journaling skill to have a rapid growth rate, because you can clearly define the mechanics of the body, the mechanics of your astral theme, of the energy you're working with, the mechanics and psychology of your mind. I've covered this on a lot of videos. Have a look at them. If you want to go deeper into this, jump onto the Vimeo channel. I've got it well defined on Vimeo. Okay. Thanks for your time, and see you on the next video.